We're gonna play some punk rock. How many of you motherfuckers just love the punk rock? You love it, you love it, you love it. Well, I quit. I quit! Wow! Yeah. Welcome. Hey, my name is Neil Patterson. This is SUPcast episode. I don't even know what episode it is anymore, but welcome to the new space. This is the new space. We own this motherfucker. Allie and I bought a house, and we're here. We're in the house. We're in the house. And it's a interesting time to be alive. I recently got a vasectomy, and I want to talk about that for a minute. And I'm also playing this video game called Final Fantasy VII, which originally came out in the year 1997. A video game which is lauded as one of the greatest in the history of gaming. So I've been spending a lot of time doing that because recently a doctor cauterized my vas deferens with a cauterizing tool. And in case you don't know, the vas deferens is the tube in your ball sack. It's the tube that the sperm uses to travel into the semen. And if you eliminate that passageway, the sperm will drain into the abyss and not go into your semen. Therefore, your semen will have no sperm and you will be infertile. You won't be able to have kids. But gentlemen, if you're listening to this and if you're like, well, what about my testosterone level? Is that going to dip? Am I going to become less manly? Am I going to be neutered? Is my voice going to get higher? No. The answer is no. You simply are cutting off the sperm's ability to go into your semen. So your semen will be spermless. And it is widely considered, especially in China, to be a very safe thing. And Allie and I decided that we don't want to have kids, and she hates being on birth control because I don't know if you've been in a relationship with a woman or you are a woman. If you are on hormones that nullify your ability to have kids, it can wreak havoc on your mood, the stabilization of a lot of factors in your life. So, there's a lot of women that just straight up can't take birth control because it fucks them up. It makes their menstrual cycle a living hell. It makes their mood unstable as fuck. Mood swings. It's just, and it's funny because men are like, well, the women need to go on birth control because that's just, you've heard ever since you were a little kid, they talk about the pill. She's on the pill. But you're not really informed until you talk to a lot of women that what the pill actually does to women. It fucks them up. So let's say you're engaged to be married to someone and you don't want kids and you have a pair of testicles and you don't want kids and you know for a fact that you're 42 years old, just like I'm 42 years old. I don't want fucking kids. I can't afford kids. It's just not going to happen. So you go into the doctor and you say, I want a vasectomy. And it's funny because if a woman wants their tubes tied, they have to go through all this rigmarole and they have to beg and they have to have like 15 children already in order to be approved for getting their tubes tied. But if you're a guy and you want a vasectomy, and I know this firsthand because I just went through this process. You walk into the doctor's office, right? And you say, I want a vasectomy. They don't question you. They don't question you for a fucking second. They don't say, how many kids have you had? They don't say, how old are you? They don't say, why are you doing this? They're just like, okay. And they made the fucking appointment. That's how easy it is for a man to get a vasectomy in the United States of America. You walk into the urologist. I would like one vasectomy, please. What day can you do it? It was that fucking simple. They didn't ask me like what favorite Flago. I can't even talk. What favor Fago I like. They didn't ask me anything about me. They didn't say, are you nearsighted or are you farsighted? They didn't say, the dude literally, I dropped trowel. He examined my balls. He's like, when do you want to do this? That was it. That was fucking it. Okay? And it's fucked up because the more women I talk to, the more they're on birth control, and it fucks with them in a huge way. It makes them feel fucking terrible. And what's funny is when they tested birth control for men, they tested an actual pill that regulates hormones for men. Men complained about the side effects. They're like, oh, it made me irritable, and it did this to me, and it did that to me. And it's funny because women have been taking the pill and have been having adverse side effects, some potentially deadly side effects, for fucking decades and decades and decades and decades. And no one even questions whether it's immoral or shitty for women to just be expected to take the pill. So my advice to you is if you don't want kids and you own a pair of testicles and you own a penis, let's get a fucking vasectomy. My balls still hurt. It's been 1 week tomorrow, actually, which is why I'm going to try to make this episode. I'm going to try to make it short. I'm going to try to make it short but sweet. So essentially, you walk in, you say, one vasectomy, please. And the doctor says, when do you want to do it? And then you walk in on surgery day, they give you a 3 Valium, which is 5 milligrams a piece. So you take 15 milligrams of Valium and you get high as fuck. And you are so relaxed and you are so high. And they put a local anesthetic on your testicles, which you have already shaved. You have to, shave your scrotum and make sure it's easily accessible, the area that the doctor needs to get to. And I laid there and I bullshitted with this man who's done thousands of these operations. And I bullshitted with this man high as fuck on Valium about what I do for a living in the music industry and flaky people. And I just, I'm like, I haven't taken Valium since the early 2000s. I was so relaxed. And they put a local anesthetic on my testicles. So there, at a few moments, there was like a slight or a sharp pinching, some pain. But I was so relaxed. I was just having a regular conversation with this guy as he cut open my scrotum. And he separated both vas deferens to both testicles. And then what's funny is I'm sitting here and I'm just bullshitting with this guy. La, 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 talking about life. Yeah, we just bought a house. Yeah. My fiance and I, we don't want kids. Blah, blah, blah. Too many families are having kids. There's too many kids in the world. We don't want them. We have cats. That's all we need. And, dude, I see this smoke billowing into the air. And I said, what is that? And he's like, I'm cauterizing your vas deferens. So it's funny. I'm having a conversation with a man with my scrotum open and my vas deferens exposed, cut, and he's cauterizing them with a tool. And the smoke is pluming. The smoke of my burned, cauterized vas deferens is pluming into the air as I'm high on Valium just talking to this guy. And that was my last Friday. Dude, Allie got me this shirt. We're going to Italy. She got me this chain. So I'm full Tony Soprano. Peep the fit. Got Dickies. So we got Dickies and peep the flex, peep the fit. We got Dickies and we got this gold chain. Keep a gold chain on my neck. Fly as a jet. Motherfucker. Yeah. And so I'm going to Italy pretty soon. And that was my vasectomy story. Yeah. And so the fallout of the vasectomy. Day one, local anesthetic is still working its magic. So you're like, wow, it didn't really hurt that much. But then, day 2 comes. Your balls hurt. And my balls still hurt. So I got to make this a short podcast. Your balls still hurt. And you have to, usually I'm a boxer briefs guy. And I had to purchase some briefs, tighty whities, but I bought the black ones, jockey. You'd be surprised. I buy underwear very rarely. I usually buy a 12-pack of Hanes boxer briefs and it lasts me like a couple of years, They're actually pretty sturdy, but fucking underwear is expensive. Even if you go to a place like Kohl's, underwear is expensive. They only sell them in packs of 6 too. Whitey tighties, 6 whitey tighty underwears from Jockey, which is like the lower brand. It's not Calvin Klein. It's not CK. Jockey Hanes. It's like, we're talking about bottom shelf whiskey of underwear. $40. $40 for 6 pairs of whitey tighties. 40 fucking bucks. So I don't know. When I was a kid, I thought underwear was pretty inexpensive. But then again, it was the 80s. And then again, it was my mother who was purchasing said underwear. And shouts out to my mom. Just had COVID. What's funny about my mother is in 2017, she had 3 brain surgeries. What's funny about my mother is in 2016, she fell down the stairs and she punctured her lung, broke 3 ribs, and fractured her arm. And what's funny about my mother is she just had COVID and she has emphysema. And what's funny about my mother is the COVID didn't get into her lungs. She got rid of COVID in a couple weeks. She got Plaxovid or Plavoxid, Plaxovilid, whatever the antiviral medication they give people at risk. Also, if you notice this pink up here, there's some sort of weird lighting thing going on there. I don't know if I like that, but I'll have to fix that later. But yeah, so she took the drugs and all she had is congestion and fatigue. And she got rid of the COVID in 2 weeks. She tested negative within 2 weeks. Last time I had COVID, I tested positive for 3+ weeks. So my mom has been through all this shit. She's fallen down the stairs. She's had multiple brain surgeries. Car accidents, falls. She fell on the front porch, busted her head open. She fell inside of a Kohl's, had to go to the emergency room. She just got COVID. She's 74 years old, just got COVID, and she already has lung problems. She's a lifetime smoker. It didn't get into her lungs. And she still, to this fucking day, just complains. And I love my mother to death, but I've been in therapy since 2021 because I'm in the process of acceptance. I'm accepting that my mother is who she is. And some people just can't be grateful. Some people can't be grateful. And I love my mother. No shade to my mother. But some people just, something in their brain doesn't allow them to smell the roses. And that's something I've been working on too, because I spent years of my life touring the country and complaining. Can you imagine that? You're driving around the country with your best friends, playing music that you love in front of people that are stoked and having the adventures of a lifetime. And there was years where I was complaining. Oh, we didn't get X amount of dollars. Oh, just complaining about petty shit. And when I put myself in my mother's shoes and I think about it, I think about this. You're a 74-year-old woman. Your life has just been nothing but trauma. And you've fallen down the stairs. You've fallen inside of a Kohl's. You've broken bones. You survived aneurysms. You've had multiple brain surgeries, and then you get COVID. You think you're going to die, and it doesn't kill you. If I was my mother, I would be the most grateful motherfucker on the planet because I am grateful. And I get depressed too. I understand that depression causes you to look at the glass half empty. I understand that depression makes you ungrateful. It makes you concentrate on the things that you don't have. It makes you concentrate on the things that are bad in your life. But lately, I've been having a hard time doing that because I'm blessed as fuck. When I was 26, 27 years old, I was a 250-pound alcoholic. And dude, I'm 42 years old. I'm got a little bit of, but I mean, dude, I'm in not the best shape of my life, but I'm in decent shape. My body hurts. I'm all fucked up. But dude, I didn't even expect to make it past 30. This is fucking amazing. Look at this basement, dude. Look at, I own this shit. I mean, the bank owns most of it, but dude, look, this is mine. I could put nails in this wall. No one's going to tell me not to. No one's going to take my fucking security deposit after a fucking year. I don't have strangers who are going to be coming in here and being like, hey, did you do this to the place? Did you do that to the place? It's a beautiful fucking thing. But back to my mother, she's literally survived hell. And I tell her when I'm on the phone with her, and she's like, I still have COVID symptoms. When is this going to go away? This is annoying. It's like, yo, Mom, you didn't die. When you had those 3 brain surgeries in 2017, you didn't die. When you fell down the stairs and you broke 6 bones as a fucking 68-year-old woman, you didn't die. When you fell in coals and you smashed your head and you blacked out, you didn't die. You know, you have children that love you. You have a grandson that's a little off, but loves you. You know? Where's the gratitude, Mom? And that's the thing. That's what we need to practice, is being fucking grateful for the shit that we have. I spent so many years just being like, more people should be fucking with my music because it's good. Or you know, just this, that, or the other thing. Like I should have this because I'm a nice guy. Or I should have more money because I work really hard. And, you know, life sucks. I'm just thinking about this shit with the music industry that I went through. Oh, I moved out to California. Great stuff should have happened. No, nothing's guaranteed. Shut the fuck up. You know what I did get from going to California? I met Allie, and we own this motherfucking house now. So you want to talk about a consolation prize? Like, you go out to fucking California with the expectation of like people fucking with your art, you know, or like becoming, you know, having people embrace your project or having people accept you, you know, fame, fortune, acceptance from the punk rock community. Fuck all that. Like, I won the grand prize. This person actually gives a fuck about me, you know? And that is something to be grateful for. I got to figure out this autofocus. Something to be grateful for. So, at the end of the day, I wish we could all like write a letter to my mom and be like, Dear Mrs. Patterson, things are good. You didn't die. You might have the sniffles still, you know, but you're a 74-year-old woman with a mild case of emphysema that got COVID and it didn't get in your lungs. That's something to be grateful for. You're still on this planet. You live in a house that's pretty much paid off. You're getting benefits from being a retired teacher. That's something to be grateful for. You don't have to worry about money. You don't have to worry about a place to live. Your needs are taken care of. You have children that love you and call you every day. You have a grandson that's a little off, but he loves you too. You have cute dogs. I mean, what else could you want in the world? You know? So, like, I wish I could just give out my mother's address and have anyone that's listening to this fucking thing right now send a goddamn letter to my mother and say, Mrs. Patterson, everything is good. But that's the thing. That's where the acceptance comes in. That's why I'm in therapy every single fucking week, trying to accept the fact that people just are who they are. And my mother's depression and trauma is something that she hasn't dealt with. And therefore, she's not going to be practicing gratitude because she is old school. She's a baby boomer, you know? Oh, I'm not that depressed. I mean, but that's the thing, is you are that depressed. If you can't be grateful for having everything that, you know, some people don't get any of the things that she actually has. Same with me. Like, dude, I'm a fucking homeowner. I'm a homeowner. I own this shit. I mean, Allie and I, it's a joint thing. We're half and half. We're partners, you know? But at the end of the day, there's people that can barely afford rent. And in the last 2 years, we were so lucky with Allie's candle business that we were able to fucking save enough money to get a fucking house. And we're engaged to be married. She got me this gold chain. She got me this. I'm not allowed to call them what they used to be called. You can't call these t-shirts WBs anymore. It's just a cotton undergarment. You can't call it a WB. You'll get in trouble. But yeah. It's 18 minutes into this rant. And So far, we've covered get a vasectomy if you don't want kids. It's not that bad. My balls hurt, but and this is the other thing about the vasectomy. Let me get back to this. Starting tomorrow, I have the clearance to ejaculate again. Okay, so they say ejaculate 15 times, whether it's through sex or self means. And this is the thing: is there's still sperm floating around in there. I got to get rid of it all. You got to drain the vein. So I'm going to be ejaculating a lot. And then after 15 to 30 ejaculations, they say, I will ejaculate into a vessel, into a container, and they will test it, and they will then verify that I am infertile. And at that point, it's off to the races. I can nut in anyone, anytime, no kids. And that's a beautiful thing. I can't afford children. I have to pay for this fucking house. And if I had children, I wouldn't know how to do that. So yeah, peep this new studio. I wish I could like pick up this camera. It's kind of on a stick right now. I wish I could pick up this camera and walk around and show you how fucking beautiful this basement is. Got a Manowar poster, Beavis and Butthead poster, Andrew WK. Got some old Downtown Brown shit. Got some Sump stuff. A Body Rock poster. Got this thing because it says, that's my ass, bro. Stop. Instead of Bass Pro Shop. Pretty funny. So there's going to be more podcasts. I'm going to have guests down here. We have a bathroom, a working toilet. So it's off to the races, man. I'm going to be busting ghost loads. I am not going to be having kids. I'm going to Italy in 10 days with Allie. She bought me Tony Soprano undergarments and a gold chain. We're going to eat ham on the river. Yeah, life is good. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be playing Final Fantasy, arguably the greatest RPG I've ever played. Okay, so let's get into that real quick for nerds out there. Okay, Final Fantasy, Japanese RPG series, JRPGs, started in the 80s. And so when I initially got COVID, I was very bored. And I started playing Final Fantasy 1 because I had an NES emulator. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. And I beat it. And I didn't really realize I'd opened a door into nerddom. Like nerddom that I hadn't experienced in quite some time. So I opened that door. And I was like, okay. And I sold my NES emulator. And I bought an SNES emulator. And I'm like, I'm going to play Final Fantasy 3, which is actually Final Fantasy 6. And I played that game to completion. And I'm like, okay. And then I was talking to Rob from Psychostick, and Rob's like, oh. He's like, there's other games that you need to play. Final Fantasy 4 is actually Final Fantasy 2 as it was released on the SNES. But he's like, you don't want to play the version that's on the SNES. It's missing all types of shit. So I bought myself a PC. And then I played Final Fantasy 4 on the PC, which is Final Fantasy 2 is the US release. And I was like, this shit's amazing. And he's like, dude, you haven't played 7 yet? And this is my quick story about Final Fantasy 7. When I first started playing it, it's actually, they took it, the PlayStation 1, when it came out in 1997, they took the two-dimensional Final Fantasy game and they made it 3D, right? And the storyline is really, really intricate. And when I first started playing, I'm like, this is blocky and this is slow and I don't like this. And I sat on it for like, I played it seldomly, right? And I couldn't get very far. I didn't get past disc 1 for like over a year because I wasn't into it. But now I'm actually excited to end this fucking podcast so I can go upstairs and start leveling up my guys again. Like I'm about to go into this northern crater. And what I realized is how slow and blocky it was in the beginning. That was just representative of the characters not being leveled up. When it gets to the point where your characters aren't slow anymore, and when your characters aren't blocky anymore, and when you start to figure out the system of the game, I tell you, this is one of the most enthralling, engrossing, and rewarding gaming experiences of my entire life, and it's a game from 1997. I'm not a gamer, but this shit is amazing. If you have a PC, go on Steam, and if you have any sort of way to play video games on your PC, or if you have a PS1 emulator, Or if you have a newer console, play the remake, play the remastered edition. Final Fantasy VII. It's fucking amazing. I know I'm late to this party, but wow. What an amazing gaming experience that I'm going to end this podcast very shortly and going to go play video games because my testicles hurt and I probably shouldn't be standing longer than half an hour. It's been 6 days since the doctor took away my ability to procreate. And I just want to say thank you, Doc. You did a good job. Final thing I want to talk about is holding, the last podcast, I talked about moving on, and there's another example of me needing to move on. In October, I'm not going to name who I was out on tour with, but long story short, they severely mismanaged the funds, and then they waited 6 months to tell me that there was no compensation for any of the members of the band. So I waited 6 months for someone to tell me that I worked for free. Can you imagine that? Yeah, so anyway, I remember when I got this news, it was a couple days ago, and I went to war with this person. I said, how could this be? What did you do? How did this negligence occur? And I was fuming. But I talked to my therapist. And there's been so many examples of this in the past 9 years where because of my desire for some sort of notoriety and for quote unquote success in the music industry, I found myself working with a lot of people that took advantage of me and they used me. And I did get some things out of this marriage, but mostly they got to use me in my van. And my therapist put it this way. This is the nail in the coffin. This is the nail in the coffin for an unhealthy and abusive business relationship that I've been in for the last 9 years. And at the end of the day, the fact that I didn't get compensated for the work I did 6 months ago is just a shining and the final example that it's time for me to move on. And what's funny is as soon as I stopped emailing this guy yelling at him for being incompetent, I got an offer for a 6th show. Like Sump is going to play the 6th show. And so that was like a good sign. But then, get this. Do y'all remember the theme song that I did for Cranks Catering? Did you ever hear that? It's Gotta Be Cranks. Well, Comcast heard that shit. And your boy, fingers crossed, because I don't want to count my eggs before they hatch. And I might actually jinx it by saying this, but I got a call from Comcast yesterday and they're like, hey, you write jingles? We heard your Cranks jingle. We really like it. And I'm like, yes, I can write short, stupid songs very quickly in a very streamlined fashion. In fact, I consider myself to be very good at it. And they said, well, about 10 to 20% of our clients that want advertising time ask us, hey, do you have a jingle guy? And we have no one on staff that can sing and write music. I'm like, funny you say that because I sing and write music for a living. Sometimes. Other times I get ripped off by bands from the 80s. But so I get this phone call 2 days after my therapy appointment where my therapist said, just let it go. Just let it go. You're never going to get paid by this guy. You shouldn't work with these people anymore. Move the fuck on. And 2 days later, as soon as I'm put down my phone and quit yelling at this dude, where's the money? How could you do this? How could you be so negligent? Neil Patterson, this is Comcast. We need a jingle guy. So more on this to come. Fingers crossed. Say a prayer for your boy. Yo, I might be writing 800 numbered jingles for local Michigan business people as a fucking career. Fingers crossed. That would be sick. And then I will continue to do podcasting and making content and playing with Sump and just, making cool shit. And that's the whole goal. And you know what's cool about this whole thing is it falls under making cool shit. Lately, I've been getting commissions doing poster art, and I'm getting good at it. I'm getting good at Procreate, and I'm good at writing songs. And if it gets to the point where I'm getting paid to do graphic design for people, and I'm getting paid to write jingles for small businesses, and then I'm like doing the sump stuff on the side, like my whole life could be this mantra. Where is it? Right here. This could be my whole life. Make cool shit before you die, and don't forget to have fun. Imagine if my whole life becomes making cool shit before I die and getting paid to do it. And having fun. This is a potentially possibility. And I don't give a fuck if it's Comcast. I don't give a fuck. You know? Like, my first client might be a local construction business that needs an 800 number jingle. You ever heard 800-588-2300 Empire? I can write shit just like that all fucking day. So it's on. Say a prayer for your boy. I quit punk rock. I don't want to work with punk rock bands anymore. I like to play punk rock. I consider my DIY ethos to be punk rock. But yo, if the last thing that you put out that was good was in the 80s and you're just coasting off that shit until you die, I don't want to work for you. I did that for 9 years. I'm kind of done with that. And I know that's a hot take, and I know that might be controversial for me to say that, but out of all of the bands that I've worked with that are from the 80s, that only put out something good in the 80s, that are still just playing those same songs from the 80s, let me just tell you, they don't necessarily take care of themselves or the people they associate with that well. And I'm done, dude. I want to be on the new. I want to make electronic funky dance music, and I want to make jingles for small businesses, and I'll work for fucking Comcast. I'll have Comcast contract me out to small businesses in Michigan fucking every week if I can get those gigs. So yeah, these are my thoughts on a fucking Thursday, 31-minute podcast. These are my thoughts. Get a vasectomy. Call your mother or your father if they're still alive and tell them to smell the fucking roses, because it could be over soon. If someone owes you money or did you wrong, let it fucking go. Move forward. Keep going, because if you are fucking spending your whole day being pissed off about what someone didn't do in the past, you're going to have a pissed off, shitty life. Move forward. Make cool shit. Put that energy into fucking moving forward, and play Final Fantasy VII. It's fucking amazing. Whether it's the remake or it's the PS1 version. I can't believe what a great video game this is. So those are my thoughts on a Thursday. Tomorrow, I'm going to start jerking off again. And this is SUPcast number whatever. It's a shorty, but I need to go rest my balls. So I hope everyone is doing very well. These are my vasectomy thoughts. And we'll see what happens. Say a prayer for your boy. And I'm saying a prayer for all of you listening. If anyone is out there listening, I want all of you to be grateful for the shit that you have. Quit dwelling on the fucking past. Be good today. Move fucking forward. And have an awesome fucking life. It can be done. Take it from me, man. I thought I was going to die before 30. And I'm 42 years old. And I ain't done yet. Love you. Oh, and also, one last time. If you like this content, I don't make any money from YouTube. So Patreon. You want to see this shit? $5 a month. You get to see this shit before anyone else. You get the early access to the Patreon content. And I'm just going to continue to make stuff. And since I got this new basement, I got this new space. Boom. Check it out. Yeah, it's on. I'm going to make some cool shit before I die. See you in the next one. Peace out. Hey, you made it to the end. What'd you think? Sign up for the $5 tier on Patreon. $5 and up, you get to see everything we do as we're doing it. Be a part of this community and help this shit get made. So that's my spiel. Sign up for the Patreon and see you in the next video.